DoubleDragon, a historical and cultural retrospective. Chapter 1: Origins of DoubleDragon. Introduction to beat-em-up genre. The video game landscape of the early 1980s was a dynamic and rapidly evolving space. As arcades gained popularity, the demand for engaging action-packed games increased. The beat-em-up genre, characterized by its straightforward, yet thrilling combat mechanics, began to emerge. Games like Kung Fu Master 1984 paved the way by introducing players to side-scrolling martial arts action. These games typically featured lone protagonists, battling hordes of enemies, using a mix of punches, kicks and weaponry. Before DoubleDragon, the beat-em-up genre was still in its infancy. Titles like Renegade 1986, developed by Technos Japan, started to establish some of the conventions that would come to define the genre. However, it was DoubleDragon that truly set the standard, combining robust multiplayer gameplay, a compelling storyline, and innovative mechanics that would influence countless future games. Creators and development team. The mastermind behind DoubleDragon was Yoshihisa Kishimoto, a visionary game designer at Technos Japan. Kishimoto's passion for martial arts films and his desire to create the more immersive and cooperative gaming experience led to the birth of DoubleDragon. The development team at Technos Japan, consisting of talented programmers, artists and sound designers, worked tirelessly to bring Kishimoto's vision to life. Kishimoto's personal experiences and interests heavily influenced the game's design. His love for action-packed movies like Enter the Dragon and Mad Max is evident in DoubleDragon's aesthetic and gameplay. The team faced numerous challenges during development, from technical limitations to the pressure of creating a game that could stand out in a crowded market. Their dedication and creativity resulted in a game that not only met but exceeded expectations. Concept and inspiration. DoubleDragon drew inspiration from various sources, blending elements of martial arts, urban street fighting, and cooperative gameplay. The storyline centers around two martial artist brothers, Billy and Jimmy Lee, who set out to rescue Billy's girlfriend, Marion, from a ruthless gang known as the Black Warriors. This simple yet compelling narrative provided a strong foundation for the game's action-packed gameplay. The game's design was heavily influenced by Kishimoto's fascination with the martial arts culture and the gritty, post-apocalyptic settings popular in films at the time. The Lee brothers' journey through the game's urban landscape, battling enemies with their fists, feet, and an array of weapons, captured the essence of a cinematic action adventure. The cooperative gameplay, allowing players to team up and fight side by side, added a new dimension to the beat-em-up genre, fostering a sense of camaraderie and teamwork. Development process. The development of DoubleDragon was marked by a series of innovative decisions and technical breakthroughs. One of the key innovations was the implementation of simultaneous two-player gameplay, which was relatively rare at the time. This feature required significant adjustments to the game's programming and design to ensure smooth and enjoyable experience for both players. Another notable aspect of DoubleDragon's development was its use of detailed sprite animations. The team at Technos Japan meticulously crafted the character sprites to convey fluid and realistic movements, enhancing the game's visual appeal and immersive quality. The environments were also richly detailed, with a variety of urban backdrops that added depth and atmosphere to the game. The soundtrack, composed by Kazunaka Yaman, played a crucial role in defining the game's mood and energy. The iconic music, with its catchy melodies and driving rhythms, became a defining feature of DoubleDragon, contributing to its lasting popularity, reception, and legacy. DoubleDragon was released in arcades in 1987 and quickly became a massive success. Players were captivated by its engaging gameplay, cooperative mechanics, and stylish presentation. The game received widespread acclaim from critics and players alike, establishing itself as a landmark title in the beat 'em up genre. The success of DoubleDragon led to numerous ports and adaptations for various home consoles and computer systems, expanding its reach and influence. Its impact on the gaming industry was profound, inspiring a wave of beat 'em up games throughout the late 1980s and 1990s. Titles like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, and Golden Axe so significant debt to the groundwork laid by DoubleDragon. The legacy of DoubleDragon extends beyond its immediate successes. The game's innovative design, memorable characters, and cooperative gameplay continue to resonate with gamers and developers today. As a seminal work in the beat 'em up genre, DoubleDragon remains a beloved and influential classic, celebrated by retro gaming enthusiasts and remembered as a key milestone in video game history. Chapter to the release and impact. Initial release. When DoubleDragon debuted in arcades in 1987, it quickly captured the attention of gamers worldwide. Developed by Technos Japan, the game was distributed by Taito in Japan and by TradeWest in North America. The arcade release was an immediate success, drawing players with its engaging gameplay, cooperative mechanics, and gritty urban setting. Players were introduced to Billy and Jimmy Lee, who embarked on a mission to rescue Marion from the Black Warriors gang. Navigating through various stages filled with enemies and obstacles. Gameplay mechanics. DoubleDragon revolutionized the beat 'em up genre with its innovative gameplay mechanics. The game featured a combination of punches, kicks, and grapples, allowing players to perform various attacks and combos. Players could also pick up and use weapons dropped by enemies such as bats, whips, and knives, adding a layer of strategy to the combat. The game's control scheme was intuitive, making it accessible to both novice and experienced players. The cooperative to player mode was a standout feature, enabling players to team up and fight side by side. This mode not only made the game more enjoyable, but also fostered a sense of camaraderie and teamwork. The level design, with its mix of vertical and horizontal scrolling stages, kept the gameplay fresh and engaging. Arcade versus home versions. Following its success in arcades, DoubleDragon was ported to various home consoles and computer systems. Each version had its unique features and limitations, leading to differences in gameplay, graphics, and sound. The Nintendo Entertainment System's port, developed by Technos Japan and published by TradeWest, was particularly notable. While it retained much of the core gameplay, it introduced new elements, such as experience points and additional levels. The Sega Master System and Atari 2600 versions also brought DoubleDragon to home audiences, each with varying degrees of fidelity to the arcade original. Despite the technical constraints of these platforms, the home versions managed to capture the essence of the arcade experience, making DoubleDragon a beloved title across different gaming systems. Chapter 3. Cultural impact and legacy influence on future games. DoubleDragon set a new standard for the beat 'em up genre, influencing a multitude of games that followed. Its impact can be seen in titles like Final Fight 1989, Streets of Rage 1991, and Golden Axe 1989. These games built upon DoubleDragon's mechanics, introducing new features and refining the genre. The concept of cooperative gameplay became a staple, and many developers sought to replicate the success of DoubleDragon. The game's influence extended beyond the beat-em-up genre. Elements such as weapon pickups, combo moves, and dynamic enemy AI became common features in various types of action games. DoubleDragon's success demonstrated the potential for video games to deliver cinematic and immersive experiences, paving the way for future innovations. Media and merchandise. The popularity of DoubleDragon led to its expansion into various forms of media and merchandise. A cartoon series, the DoubleDragon animated series, aired in the early 1990s, introducing the characters to a new audience. The series expanded the lore of the game, adding new characters and storylines. Additionally, DoubleDragon inspired a live-action film, released in 1994. While the movie received mixed reviews, it further cemented the franchise's presence in popular culture. The game also spawned a range of merchandise, including action figures, comic books, and clothing, allowing fans to engage with the DoubleDragon universe beyond the arcade and console screens. Cultural references. DoubleDragon has left an indelible mark on popular culture, with references appearing in various media. Over the years, the game's iconic status has been acknowledged in television shows, movies, and other video games. For example, the Lee brothers have made cameo appearances in games like Battletoads and River City Ransom. The game's influence on the portrayal of urban combat and martial arts in video games continues to develop, solidifying its legacy as a cultural touchstone. Chapter for sequels and spin-offs. DoubleDragon 2: The Revenge. Released in 1988, DoubleDragon 2: The Revenge built upon the foundation of its predecessor, introducing new gameplay mechanics and story elements. The sequel continued the tale of Billy and Jimmy Lee, who sought revenge after the Black Warriors gang killed Marion. The game featured improved graphics, new moves, and the ability to attack in both directions, enhancing the combat experience. The reception of DoubleDragon 2 was positive, with many praising its refinements and additions. The game was ported to various platforms, including the NES, where it gained a loyal following. The success of the sequel further cemented DoubleDragon's status as a leading franchise in the beat-em-up genre. DoubleDragon 3: The Sacred Stones. DoubleDragon 3: The Sacred Stones, released in 1990, took the series in a new direction, with a focus on international locations and a quest for mystical artifacts. The game introduced new characters and a shop system, where players could purchase upgrades and additional lives, while it retained the core beat-em-up mechanics. These changes received mixed reviews, with some fans appreciating the innovation and others longing for the simplicity of the earlier titles. Despite the mixed reception, DoubleDragon 3 contributed to the franchise's ongoing evolution, showcasing the developers' willingness to experiment and innovate. The game was ported to several platforms, ensuring that fans could continue to enjoy the adventures of the Lee brothers. Other titles and spin-offs. The success of the mainline DoubleDragon games led to various spin-offs and adaptations. DoubleDragon 4, released in 2017, aimed to recapture the spirit of the original games, with retro-style graphics and gameplay. The series also saw crossover titles, such as Battletoads and DoubleDragon, which combine elements from both franchises. Additionally, DoubleDragon Neon 2012 served as a modern reimagining of the series, blending nostalgic elements with contemporary design. These titles demonstrate the enduring appeal of DoubleDragon, as developers continue to explore new ways to engage both longtime fans and new players. Chapter 5: Technical Analysis. Graphics and Sound Design. DoubleDragon was notable for its impressive graphics and sound design, which contributed to its immersive gameplay experience. The game's detailed sprite animations and vibrant background set a new standard for arcade games. At the time, characters moved fluidly, and the environments, ranging from urban streets to industrial settings, were richly detailed. The sound design, featuring music composed by Kazunaka Yaman, played a crucial role in defining the game's atmosphere. The iconic soundtrack, with its catchy tunes and driving rhythms, became synonymous with the DoubleDragon experience. Sound effects, such as the impact of punches and kicks, added to the visceral feel of the combat, enhancing the overall immersion. Programming and development techniques. The development of DoubleDragon involved several technical innovations that pushed the boundaries of what was possible in arcade games. The game's programming allowed for simultaneous two-player gameplay, a feature that required careful balancing and optimization to ensure smooth performance. The use of detailed sprite animations and layered backgrounds also presented challenges, which the development team overcame through creative solutions and efficient coding practices. Technos Japan's expertise in hardware and software development enabled them to create a game that was both visually impressive and mechanically robust. The success of DoubleDragon demonstrated the potential for video games to deliver complex, engaging experiences, paving the way for future advancements in game design and technology. Chapter 6: Community and Competitive Scene. Player community. DoubleDragon quickly developed a dedicated player community, with fans drawn to its engaging gameplay and cooperative mechanics. Arcade enthusiasts and home console players alike shared tips, strategies, and high scores, fostering a sense of camaraderie and competition. Fan magazines and newsletters often featured DoubleDragon, highlighting its popularity and the passion of its players. The advent of the internet further connected DoubleDragon fans, with online forums and fan sites, providing spaces for discussion and collaboration. These communities kept the spirit of DoubleDragon alive, sharing memories, organizing events, and celebrating the franchise's legacy. Competitive play. DoubleDragon also found a place in the competitive gaming scene, with players challenging each other to achieve the highest scores and fastest completion times. Tournaments and high-score competitions became a popular way for fans to showcase their skills and compete for recognition. The game's cooperative mode added an additional layer of strategy as teams worked together to optimize their performance. The competitive aspect of DoubleDragon highlighted the game's depth and replayability. As players continued to discover new techniques and strategies, this competitive spirit contributed to the game's enduring appeal, cementing its status as a classic in the beat 'em up genre. Chapter 7: Retrospective Fan Revival. Retrospective reviews. Over the years, DoubleDragon has been the subject of numerous retrospective reviews, with critics and fans alike reflecting on its impact and legacy. Many reviews highlight the game's pioneering role in the beat 'em up genre, praising its innovative gameplay, memorable characters, and cultural influence. While some aspects of the game may feel dated, by modern standards its cool mechanics and design continue to be celebrated. Retrospective reviews often emphasize the game's significance in the context of its time, acknowledging the technical and creative achievements of the development team. The nostalgia associated with DoubleDragon has kept it relevant as new generations of players discover its classic gameplay and timeless appeal. Reboots and revivals. The enduring popularity of DoubleDragon has led to several attempts to reboot and revive the franchise. DoubleDragon Neon released in 2012. Reimagine the original game with updated graphics, humor and new gameplay mechanics. The game received positive reviews for its faithful, yet fresh take on the DoubleDragon formula, appealing to both longtime fans and newcomers. DoubleDragon 4 released in 2017 took a different approach by embracing the retro aesthetic and gameplay of the original games. Developed by Arc System Works, the game aimed to recapture the spirit of the early DoubleDragon titles, offering a nostalgic experience for fans. These reboots and revivals demonstrate the lasting appeal of DoubleDragon as developers continue to explore new ways to honor and expand upon the franchise's legacy. The balance between nostalgia and innovation has been key to these efforts, ensuring that DoubleDragon remains relevant and engaging for modern audiences. Chapter 8: Conclusion and Future Prospects. Legacy and ongoing influence. DoubleDragon's place in video game history is firmly established, with its impact on the beat-em-up genre and the broader gaming landscape well recognized. The game's innovative mechanics, cooperative gameplay, and memorable characters have left an indelible mark, inspiring countless titles and shaping the evolution of action games. The legacy of DoubleDragon extends beyond its gameplay, as its influence can be seen in the way games are designed, marketed and experience. The franchise's success demonstrated the potential for video games to tell compelling stories, create immersive worlds, and connect players through shared experiences. As a seminal work in the history of video games, DoubleDragon continues to be celebrated and studied, serving as a benchmark for excellence in game design. Future of the franchise. Looking ahead, the future of the DoubleDragon franchise holds both promise and potential. The continued interest in retro gaming, combined with advancements in technology, provides opportunities for new and exciting iterations of DoubleDragon. Developers may explore virtual reality, enhanced graphics, and innovative gameplay mechanics to bring fresh experiences to fans. The possibility of new stories, characters, and settings within the DoubleDragon universe also presents exciting prospects. By staying true to the core elements that made the original game a success, engaging combat, cooperative play, and compelling narratives, future titles can honor the franchise's legacy while appealing to contemporary audiences. Fans and critics alike hold high hopes for the future of DoubleDragon, anticipating new adventures and experiences that will continue to captivate and inspire. As the franchise evolves, it remains a testament to the creativity, innovation, and passion that define the best of video game history.